Sekiro is possibly one of the most audacious games I've ever played. It's amazing just how much Sekiro trailblazes in verticality where its predecessors were strictly earthbound. Using a prosthetic arm, Sekiro has all sorts of ninja tools at its disposal, one of which is a grappling hook that turns vast open landscapes into wondrous jungle gyms. It takes my whole argument of big empty maps equals bad and just shits on it, because flying around the different areas and fighting new enemies is a freaking blast.
This is a vast open world you explore with your friends. The world of Anthem is hostile, and threats can come from any direction.
Combat is still unforgiving, just like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. This time, indicators flash above your head for unblockable attacks, but based on the animation, you have to decide how to avoid it. Grapples with sidesteps, sweeps with jumping, and thrusts with counters are a well-timed deflect. Your main weapon never changes, but Sekiro compensates for this with upgradable prosthetics like firecrackers that scare animals, axes that break down shields, and this really neat hat. Enemies have these well-composed attack patterns instead of just blindly swinging at you. Like when you try to take a sip from your flask to heal up, this guy shoots an arrow at you to try to disrupt it. Boss fights take up a surprising amount of the game, but never seem to lose their luster. They're so well spaced apart from one another that it adds this crave to see who's next on the chopping block.
My name is Kyobu Masataka Oniwa! As I breathe, you will not have the vessel gate!
Typically, you would just keep smacking someone with the same attack over and over again until they died, but now you have to play around posture meters, which when filled, provide a small window of opportunity to completely ass blast your enemy into oblivion. Something that really disappointed me was, many of the bosses have only one or two ways to defeat them. Granted, that doesn't really sound like a big deal, but it is when you have to go up against guys like this who demand that you perfectly deflect his attack 8 times in a row just for one death blow. When it comes to actual mapping of the areas, the landscapes are gorgeous, and Sekiro finds multiple ways to revamp every area over and over again, giving it a reason for a revisit. And instead of having you backtrack all the way to certain places, you'll be surprised how often you'll find shortcuts back to familiar areas. Scene transitions are also an explosive reminder that FromSoftware still knows how to create a world and populate it with some of the most interesting characters. Some of the game just stops you in your tracks just to look at shit because it's so beautiful. Sekiro is arguably one of the more difficult titles, but for those of you who already have the game, I encourage you to keep pushing through. And if you already gave up, try it again. Sekiro is a must-have for 2019. It's a victory to all gamers. When games that are hyped up for years finally release with some asshat issue like 7-minute loading screens, gamers can feel defeated and in worst cases, betrayed. Sekiro is not a perfect game by any means, but delivers what it promises. A journey with challenge, purpose, and a breathtaking playstyle.